our presenter today, Keith with CREID Group.
All right. Well, all right. Can you hear me now? Okay, cool. All right, so first thing I'm going to start off with is I'm just kind of a couple questions. I want to kind of get a read for the room. How many people in here own commercial real estate? Okay. How many people in here um, service commercial real estate investors? Okay, so a few more of those. And then one final thing. How many people in here own single family home investments? So houses, duplexes, and stuff. Okay, cool. That gives me a pretty good idea. So we've got a couple commercial investors and several people that are fluent in investing. I'm gonna get used to their screens this way too. So all right. So starting off with our story. I'm Keith Wheeler, and then Chris Wayland is over here. Me and him started the CREID group. Gosh, I think we're going on like 4 years ago. Um, going on 5 years. All right. So my background's in single-family homes. I've started buying them in 2008, and I've picked up a couple more here and there every year. And I've always had a strong interest in business. Um, so it's only a natural combination. Commercial real estate is real estate that is primarily focused on used for business purposes. So your single family duplexes, even up to a fourplex, usually has an owner occupy situation of it where it is not a business. But then once you start getting above 5 units, then it becomes a business and it's considered commercial real estate. And then there's also the other asset classes, storage, industrial, warehousing, retail, this building, that is commercial real estate. So I've always been drawn into that. Let's see. So um, we, me and Chris were talking one day about commercial real estate, and we decided that we wanted to get more into real estate. He has a mobile home and RV park down in Branson that he's turned into a food truck park. That's doing really well. If you guys haven't been there, definitely check out some of the best food in Branson. So as we were talking about it, we identified a couple problems. Um, Commercial real estate is not, let's say, common sense knowledge. Like everybody's not involved in it, so you don't know how to do it. Houses, single family houses, it's just square foot. You look at the neighborhood and say, well, it's worth this much per square foot. And then there's some little variations, but everybody is into buying houses. And so it's not that far of a stretch for people to know. But um, as we notice that the information is siloed for commercial real estate, you have to know someone that knows how to do it. You have to pay a bunch of money to do the classes to do it, and it's just not widely available. And so as me and Chris were talking about it, we said, well, let's start going to some commercial groups. And we got to looking around, and guess what? There's no commercial groups. Um, there's a single family group in Branson or in Joplin that just kind of grew up to doing multifamily, but that's about all they do. Then you go to Kansas City and St. Louis, and you might find a couple groups that are there, but there's really not a commercial real estate group anywhere in Southwest Missouri. Um, so with that, there's a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of properties that are commercial properties that are just sitting vacant that nobody's doing anything with. There's a lot of potential deals that can be done, but without the knowledge and the team to put it together, you really can't. Um, so me and Chris decided let's start doing our own little meetup, and that's exactly what we did. So here's our mission statement: a group of like-minded people sharing knowledge about commercial real estate to identify opportunities for community development, wealth creation, and preservation in Southwest Missouri. So now, what as it started out, it was just a group of 15 to 25 people that would meet once a month. We would just have kind of a round table discussion about commercial real estate. And then, I think about 2 years ago, Dustin started coming to it and he said, "Hey, Keith, you really need to formalize this a little bit better. Let's put this into an agenda and actually make it something that people can count on how we're putting this together." And then we started doing our structured meeting introduction in the beginning, and then have a presenter, and then we do closing. And then as it progressed, then we started moving over here to this building. We were doing it at McAllister's, Panera, we did it at Springfield Brew Co. But then we came over here, and as we've come over here, we've kind of changed our setup a little bit. And now we do a happy hour from 5 to 6 o'clock. We do half price drinks. You can come hang out, and it's open networking, and then we do the meeting afterwards. So that's how it's progressed. You'll see. You guys see the bears at the beginning of the slideshow? Well, that was a video, but we can't get the video to work right now. But anyways, it's you guys have seen the National Geographic videos where there's grizzly bears hanging out in a river, and they're all eating the salmon that are coming up. And usually you see 10 or 15 bears just hanging out in the river. So this is my analogy on it. I look at that as the CREID group. Bears are just like me, Dustin, Chris. We are people looking for deals. And if you look at the salmon as deals, they're swimming up the river and there's plenty of deals going by. And the bears are just positioning themselves in the right place at the right time to just be able to, I mean, the fish just swim up and jump right into their mouth, right? So, and then the river, I put that as the CREID group. So the CREID group that we get together, there's plenty of room for lots of bears. We can all share the abundance mentality of there's plenty of fish for everybody. And occasionally you'll see the bears fighting in the middle of the river, but for the most part, they're just all hanging out there saying, "I want to get my fish." Um, so who do we serve? Our members are guests. It's the whole commercial real estate industry. We have investors at every level. We've got people that are just trying to get into commercial real estate investing. Everybody in the middle, people that have a couple multifamilies. We've got people that have a little bit of storage. We've got people that even more advanced that have several $1 million worth of commercial real estate. And then we also have the service side of it. So think real estate agents, insurance agents. We've got Sam from Titan Title that comes regularly. We've got the whole industry that comes, especially for the networking. And even people that are just curious about commercial real estate investing, we're open for that too. We've got a real friendly atmosphere, family-like atmosphere. So there's not really any of the oh, you don't know about this mentality. So it's really a good open atmosphere, and it's good for everybody. How are we growing? A lot of what we do is member referrals, letting people know, hey, come check us out. Me, Dustin, and Chris spend, I couldn't tell you how many hours, let's say week, 2 weeks before the meetings, calling people, sending them texts and saying, hey, are you coming? We've also got our CRM system that would send stuff out. Me and Dustin post stuff on our Facebook group and page. And then now we've even started doing sponsorship for the happy hour. And now they get to be a little bit of our soundboard because now they're sponsoring the happy hour. So they've got a reason to tell people about it. So that brings more people into it. And we've also teamed up with ULI and a couple other local brokerages that we work with to draw more people in. What sets us apart? So we are focused on commercial real estate. I didn't mention this earlier. We were just looking into it, and now we are the largest real estate meetup in Southwest Missouri. And we're talking even residential, which blows your mind because there's so many more residential investors, but they're just not doing it. Since the main RIA shut down, we are now the largest real estate monthly meetup in Southwest Missouri. So that's pretty awesome. And we focus on commercial real estate. We are practitioner led. So a lot of us do the commercial real estate. It's not just theory; we actually do it. And number three, it's free to come. You know, even the happy hour, we do half price drinks and we have some food and stuff. So it's come hang out. And then four is um, we build this room of networks because it's more about who you know, and then you can accomplish better things just from having the network. But there's one more thing that we have, and it is probably the coolest thing ever. We have even had the Sterling House present on multiple occasions. Like, woo! um, some of the challenges that we have. So, like I said, me, Dustin, and Chris spend a lot of time reaching out to people and letting them know, reminding them that we're having the event. And a lot of them are like, "Oh yeah, thanks for letting me know," and then they come. And like, and I do the phone calls, and then at the meeting, I'll kind of look around and I'll be like, "Yeah, I talked to him for sure. He's definitely here because I reminded him about it." And I started to really calculate that. And I really wish that I could get to the point where it is so awesome that they are contacting me saying, "Hey, when's the meeting? I want to come to it." Or we get the more word of the mouth so that it's not up to me and Dustin and Chris to tell people to get it. The next struggle that we're having is um, the sponsorship. Um, it's not in my nature to ask for things. So asking for people to sponsor the happy hour is maybe not one of my strongest points. Um, my CRM management, so managing our CRM, um, and then down at the bottom it's the Davis Properties, Food Company, and Rankin Development. I want to get them in the room, just having the conversation. So our next steps, we're trying to grow to 75 active guests that come plus the um, once a time. So we're looking at like having 100 people in the room every time. Our next meeting is May 14th, so that's next week. Happy hours from 5 to 6, and then the main meeting is at 6 o'clock. That's going to be ULI is going to be presenting, and then this is us. Um, let's see. So this is the what can you do for or what can you do right now? Send us a member. You can scan these, each one of these QR codes goes to a different one. If you know somebody that wants to, that should attend, you can scan the QR code, put their information in. If you want to be a speaker, scan the middle one, or if you want to be a sponsor, scan the right one. So that's what we got. Thank you very much. That was a great presentation. And this is our Q&A session right now. Is there anyone here who's first time attending? Okay, so the way this works is raise your hand. I will attempt to do the best I can to do it in order. Yes, one or two short questions, two the most. And if you have it, so real quick, go on and get a who's up here. So, you ready to start? Let's do it. Here you go. Okay, everybody. I'm Dustin Farrell, the Dive Group, Living Ozarks, Creek Group. Question for Creek Group is, what's the membership cost? Be a member and attend the meeting. So we do not charge a dime. We just ask that you participate in good faith, and we actually ask that you bring a guest.
Christina, Michelle for insurance. You mentioned being a little bit uncomfortable asking for sponsorships, but what are you offering the sponsors? What do they get for being a sponsor?
So if you sponsor one of the happy hours, you get to have your information up on all the screens in here, and then also now you have access to um, the last happy hour, which was the very first one that we did. Um, 15 minutes in, and we already had 30 people here. And so we're talking about 30 people that are investors or doing active commercial real estate. And the last meeting we had 55 people total. So I know a few of those people just showed up right before the meeting, but that was with 1 week of letting people know that we were doing the happy hour. So this month, I think that we'll probably have 40 to 50 people for the happy hour part of it. So you get one-on-one exposure with them, and then we mention you in our marketing stuff, and I think, and then and then we also let you participate in the meeting too. So in the introduction of the meeting, we do an expert nugget, which is just a 2-minute tidbit of valuable information that you can use. So we have our sponsor will come up and say, "Hey, I'm so and so with XYZ company, and this is my little nugget of information," and then let people get that and then get away. So it's just another little touch of valuable information. But I think that the biggest thing is we give you the opportunity to network during the happy hour. And Valiant Group, we've got it set up. They're gonna give me a slideshow, so they're gonna have their stuff sliding on all the screens up here, and really they're focused on trying to acquire more real estate agents, and so this is a great opportunity for them. So that's just one example. Like maybe here, I am not a commercial real estate investor, and my only investment real estate is my house. So as somebody who might be interested in this, might be hesitant to walk through the door because it feels like a bar price higher residential. Like I know people who maybe get a loan, they buy a house, they sell it, they flip it, they rent it or something. Can you talk a little bit just to sort of like lower some of the anxiety? Yeah. People who might be like, this might be too big for me. Yeah. So like that initial investment value. Somebody's like, I want to learn more, but I don't know. We go back to meetings. What does it look like to just starting out that might make you go, oh, okay, I actually could go to this type of group and learn more. Yeah, absolutely. So two ways to approach that to calm the nerves. Mentioned that we do half price drinks. So the biggest battle is getting in the room with the people that are doing it, right? So once you're in the room with them and it's an open conversation, people chatting. So now you start building the relationship, and then you know the people that are doing it, and that's if you talk about the single family stuff, the bar is set lower because we all know somebody that is buying and selling houses, and so there's lots of ways out of it. But the commercial real estate, that's where you're talking about the bar set a little bit higher. There is a little bit more risk in it that you have to know what you're doing. Well, the best way to know what you're doing is be in the room with people that do it on a regular basis. So that would be my first push into it is just get in the room, and here's an open door where we're making it easy to connect with the people that are doing it. And two, the part that you mentioned about it being harder to get in and not having the means, I would actually say it's the other way around. Because whenever you're starting to look at commercial real estate, you're trying to cut a deal with somebody that has commercial real estate, there's a lot more of an opportunity to do, um, let's call it creative financing, even though that's how it used to be done. It's not a new thing. That is the way that it used to be done. Now you're talking with business professionals about a business deal. So there's a lot of ways that you can get it worked out that it's actually less of a strain on you. You just have to know how to structure the deal. So, but if you're talking about single family homes, you have your conventional stuff. You're going to a bank, you're going to a lender that's going to lend for it. So you a lot of times have to have the higher amount to put into it, and you can't work out special owner financing deals on it. So that's why I would say if you know the industry and know how to do it, I would actually say that once you know it, it's actually easier to do commercial. due to time restraints, I had to cut that part out of the presentation, and I still went over, right? So the the beautiful thing about this CREID group is it itself doesn't have to make a dime for it to be profitable for me. The fish, the deals, that's the real thing. From the CREID group, I've bought, I figure probably $750,000 worth of real estate from it. So if it's bringing me packaged lunches, I don't care that it's making money itself. But I do have a plan where it gets involved in real estate in a convention center and um, and in a coffee shop and a shared workspace. So I've got a plan for all that stuff too, but time constraints. Can't tell you about all that right
Sounds like a good joke.
now.
Hey, Dustin again with Group, Group. Two questions. One is, what exactly is ULI? What does that stand for? What do they do? And the next question is, tell us what kind of speakers you're looking for moving down the road.
ULI is a huge international nonprofit that is um, specifically targeting development of urban lands. A large part of it is going to be redevelopment. And they have recently started pushing their Springfield chapter of it. And we have teamed up with them. So they do a lot of a market analysis and then SWOT analysis, feasibility studies, stuff like that, so they can give us real hard data. And actually, they're going forward. They're going to start participating in the meetings and giving that market update every meeting. That's at least the plan. So, the
Speaker.
speakers. So, for speakers, we would love to have more speakers requesting to speak with us. So, and it can be anything in the commercial real estate realm, whether like next month we are looking at doing a multifamily. We're trying to talk Sam Coryell into presenting, but he's nibbling on the hook, but we haven't reeled him in yet. So we're hoping to do that. Um, we would also like here in 2 months we're going to be doing, or we're trying to put an AI in commercial real estate plan together. We're working with some people. Hey, not all right. So we're working with some people to be able to put that together. We're going to do a presentation on that, but we'd love how to answer that question on the people. Anybody related to commercial real estate that can add value to the room. That's really what we're.
Presentation. This group kind of reminds me of a one screen for commercial people. Because as you know, my does the project EFP. But my initial question is going to be about monetizing and discovered that. However, did I understand you to say that the residential group, the very large, no longer exists?
That's correct. Um, Going about 2 years ago, Brad Mercado shut that down. And so now it's pretty much us.
Okay, so my question for you is, how are you going to avoid that same scenario?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, why would I want to? Um, he built the the group, and it served him very well, made him um, wealthy, not rich wealthy, and he got to the point where, and this is just my speculation on it. He said he doesn't need to do it anymore. So, um, and what's interesting about that situation is nobody set up and carried it on. Whereas I think that the way that I'm building this, and if I get the coffee shop and the workspace and stuff, all of that worked out together, I think this becomes an ongoing business that I don't manage. It's I step away from it and I get other people doing it. It becomes its own business, and then now we start looking at franchising in other regions and developing it that way. So there's light at the end of that tunnel, but that's not our focus yet. So. You messed it up. That's well, everybody. This is Chris.
Chris Whitman,
Well, gosh, off the top of my head, I can probably think of probably 5 or 6 people that have put pretty big deals together from it. But that's one of the cool things about it is um, most real estate construction, commercial real estate transactions happen without it ever hitting the market. And you never know about it. So it's that networking, that connection, and stuff has happened that I don't even know about. So we do a self-storage mixer um, every September. Last year was our first one. And I know of at least one storage facility that sold specifically because of a connection that was made at that mixer. So I don't know, a couple $1 million of transactions just from the CREID group. And we're totally out of time. We're vastly out of time. One thing I would like to do is ask you one last question. What can we as a community do to help you? I would say right now it is help us with letting people know about the meeting, and then a couple sponsors and speakers our way, and that's why I've got the slide up on there that you can go to our website, go to creedgroup.com, and there's forms on there that you can fill out if you want to be a speaker, if you want to sponsor, or if you just want to sign up for our newsletter. I think yeah, and next week Thursday, get here at 5 o'clock, grab a couple drinks, and get here early because we've got a set budget for the half price drinks, so we reward the people that get here early.
Good job.